Welcome back, guys. I am Robbie.
I'm Jeremy, and please welcome our latest addition to Cinephiles, Jai.
Thanks for having me, guys.
More than welcome.
So, we are getting into Star Wars The Last Jedi. We've finally seen it after the big anticipation.
Yes.
Hope you guys enjoy. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, finally hit cinemas, and it's directed and written by Rian Johnson, and it stars Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. The plot that follows on from the story of the Resistance fighting the First Order follows the lives of, you got Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron, General Leia, Chewie. You pretty much got everyone from the original story. Then you've also got, the bad guys, Kylo Ren and Hux. And it's pretty much just sort of the final pieces of the Resistance getting chased by the First Order. That's essentially the whole plot. And, you've got, your little battles, and it was good. I thoroughly... Yeah. I think I enjoyed that sort of storyline more than a sort of typical Star Wars where there's, heaps of subplots and... a massive... There is a massive final, finale. But a lot of people are saying that...
What was interesting with this one was, while the story is, when you look at it, is a simple story, something about the way that Rian Johnson put it all together, there's a lot to take in with this movie. And I was really thrown off the first time. Not that I didn't like it, I was very mixed. Very, very mixed on it.
I agree. The pacing in The Last Jedi is slightly odd the first time, especially coming off of The Force Awakens, which is really full on. The Last Jedi slows everything down a bit. I think it does lend itself to rewatches, though, second viewings.
Absolutely. I've seen the movie 2-3 times now, and I can honestly say I love it now. I didn't the first time. Like I said, I was very torn. I didn't know which way to go. First time I actually saw it, the more I thought about it, the less I liked it. And then I saw it again, and I started appreciating more. I think it just changes a lot from what we anticipated.
Definitely. I think you liked it a lot less than I did the first time. When I first saw it, I thought I didn't know it was possible to like a film so much and be so disappointed in it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's not saying I didn't like the film. I think it's great, but yeah, it was just it's a weird one. It's definitely a different Star Wars.
It's a very different Star Wars film. Like I said, it's a Rian Johnson film. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah.
It's a lot darker in a lot of senses, I think, as well. But general consensus, I think, I agree with you guys. I've only seen it the first once, so... But I totally understand how people can sort of be misguided by watching it just the one time and thinking, well, this is completely different. This isn't, almost as if they're trying to say this isn't a Star Wars film. But I watched it and I enjoyed, I went in, I think, maybe a little bit more open-minded than I would have, for The Force Awakens or any other Star Wars film watching it the first time. So I took in a lot more, and I kind of appreciated the film as being a different film. I kind of understood that it was the movie the franchise wanted, not necessarily the one it needed, not necessarily the one it wanted. So I kind of feel like it went down a path that it needed to.
Yeah, which is why I enjoy it now. I think we'll get into it when we do our spoiler review. There's a couple of moments that happen that complete me. They complete me. That completely just caught me off guard. And you guys know the bits I'm talking about.
Oh, for sure.
And that just took me out of the movie so much, and I was like, okay, my biggest gripe with the film, which I still have, is that I think it's a really good Star Wars film in the Star Wars universe, but it's a not so good film as a follow-up to The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of setting up and like major plot points that JJ introduced in The Force Awakens, which are almost discarded in this one. And it's almost like Rian Johnson was just like, okay, I'm not really interested in the story that JJ's doing. I want to do my own thing. I'm just going to reset everything and we're going to go from there. And I'm really curious with JJ coming in again with episode 9. Is he going to just do another reset and be like, well, screw what Rian Johnson did. I'm going to go back to my initial thing. And I hope it's not that. I hope it doesn't keep jumping around. But at the same time, I hope it does, because the stuff I got in it, not that I don't like it, I don't think it warranted the 2 years of anticipation and build-up. And it's not just because of fan speculation. The way The Force Awakens is put together after rewatching again recently, those are major plot points, and they are not just put in there for the sake of it, and it's not just fans just going crazy for the sake of it either. Those are actually major things that the studio and the directors were like, these are going to be big things in the future, and then now they're not. I'm like, okay, so which one is this?
Definitely. It's hard to say without kind of going into it a bit more. But
exactly, yeah.
All the groundwork that is laid that I thought was going to be the baseline of this trilogy.
It's not there.
Is
Completely gone.
In saying that though, I feel like, it sort of brushes over things that it raises more questions than it answers from The Force Awakens, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's still a room. There's still, that third movie the third in the trilogy is going to answer everything. That's the only way they can do it, probably, without causing issues.
I hope so. I hope so. Because after Force Awakens, with that cliffhanger of Luke, I was so pumped for episode 8. And if it was playing in the next cinema, I would have been straight there and yes, can't wait to see it. After seeing 2-3 times now, I am looking forward to episode 9. But my first initial viewing of episode 8, I was like, I don't give a damn about episode 9 anymore. I lost all feeling and anticipation and excitement for the trilogy.
Oh, see, I didn't go that far. I think in a way, it's Star Wars. I'm always going to love Star Wars, so I have to go see it. But I do understand exactly what you're saying, that the build-up of this trilogy is just kind of, where do we go now?
That burning desire of wanting to know what happens next just wasn't there.
Yeah, of course.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, but I think I also agree with what Jai's saying. It doesn't. I'm not that upset with it. I think what's going to happen though. I'll probably watch it more than a few times again. I'll end up enjoying it, but I still will be somewhat disappointed in the fact that it's ruined the franchise for me. But then when 2 years comes around, 2019, whatever Untitled Star Wars third movies, starts releasing merchandise and trailers start coming out, I'm going to be just as hyped as I was for this one.
Oh, for sure.
And the same thing's going to happen, and I'm hoping that this movie is just going to be the awesome ending to an amazing trilogy, and that it's going to sort of justify this movie. That's why I'm saying this is the movie the franchise needed, not necessarily the one it wanted. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And I think if anyone's going to do that justice, it will be JJ, who's the one who started the whole thing from the beginning. Yeah. And like I said, I really love this movie now. I've done a complete turnaround. I do still have issues, which will never change. But we'll get that into later on. Standouts for me were Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, and Adam Driver. Yes. What about you guys?
I have to agree.
Yeah, Ray, I think her acting can be wooden at times. Mark Hamill, Adam Driver especially.
Adam Driver, the perfect Kylo Ren.
And I thought Oscar Isaac was much better this time as Poe as well. He was given a lot more to do.
Yes.
We saw more of him. He was really good this time.
Carrie Fisher's given a much more prominent role, which is great. Sad watching her on screen for the last time.
It was. Oh no, I won't say. But there's a bit of in the credits that's nice. Nice touch.
There's a nice touching bit, yeah. And then we've got the new additions, Laura Dern and Kelly Marie Tran. I thought they were good. Laura Dern I liked more than Kelly Marie, not to do with the acting. They were both solid as characters. Laura Dern just had a more interesting story arc than Kelly Marie Tran, which brings me into the Finn storyline, which they kind of partner up. I didn't really care for that whole storyline until it got towards the third act. The first two bits, I was like, eh.
I agree that Finn his storyline in this film was kind of a bit of nothing. Like,
Yeah, especially how charismatic he was in the first one.
Exactly, I loved him in Force Awakens. In this one, his arc was probably my least favourite.
And he's still charismatic. He's still Finn. Like, he was
sure.
great, but he just didn't have much to do. And yeah.
So I agree and disagree at the same time. Although he definitely didn't have as much to do, and he wasn't as sort of full on as a stormtrooper as he was in Force Awakens. I did really enjoy his sort of subplot with Rose along what they did. I thought that their connection between characters was actually like there wasn't really much going on between them until the third act, like you said, but I could sort of see it. I was sort of enjoying it the whole time. But I don't know, maybe that was just because I was just trying to enjoy it as I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Even there were bits coming up and I was like, I'm not sure about this, but I'm going to enjoy it just for the sake of enjoying it at the moment and then see how I feel at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, technically this film is flawless. The visuals are amazing, cinematography and everything. The music is great. I mean, John Williams, of course, is great. One little thing though with the music, I didn't pick up on any memorable new themes. Like, there was the old stuff that was in there. Rey's theme and everything was great. There was a lot of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back music in that I picked up on. Apart from that, there was nothing new, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
If there was, it was nothing that really stood out.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'll always be happy with the original scores.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I guess that was just something I didn't notice, just because I was happy with the score as it was.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, every single Star Wars, John Williams has brought in a new great theme, and I just didn't pick up anything. I might pick up and listen to the soundtrack, but watching the movie, I just didn't pick up on it. And Phasma, I thought she was wasted.
I reckon, like I said earlier, I reckon that's going to be another question that's popped up, without spoiling anything. There's going to be another question that's going to pop up for this one that's again going to be answered in the third one.
Okay, I hope so. Yeah. And of course we got Andy Serkis as Snoke. We finally get to see him like in the flesh, and he was great.
I thought I loved him.
I mean, no one will top Andy Serkis for motion capture.
Yeah,
definitely. And his voice for Snoke, he is really like demanding. Really, he really holds his screen presence there.
Yeah, you see a sort of different side of him as well at one point. I think maybe just seeing him in the flesh kind of brings
it
out.
Helps it, yeah. Rather than the big massive hologram, which was a cool tease.
Yes, it was.
But I don't feel like there's really much else we can talk about, like verging into spoilers.
Definitely not. This is, like we said before, it's a hard film to talk about.
It's really hard. And I know this is very vague, this review, but I mean, there's nothing else you can
stick around for the spoiler review.
Yeah, it will be up very shortly.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, if you didn't like it the first time, give it another shot, because that's definitely helped me. I know it helped Jai as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it helped you as well.
Yeah.
So overall star ratings, what are we giving it?
I can't remember the star rating I gave Force Awakens, but if it was a 4.5, then I would give this one a 4.
I think you gave Force Awakens a 4.
4?
Oh, hang on. No, it was a 4.5. You changed to 4.5.
So Force Awakens is still a 4.5. This one's a 4.
Despite all my negativity and the issues over the film, I think it's great. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Like, despite I have issues with it, like I love this movie now. I gave Force Awakens 5, so I'm going to give this one 4.5.
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Those are our thoughts on the latest addition to the Star Wars franchise, The Last Jedi. What did you think? Leave us some comments down below and hit that subscribe button.
No spoilers, please. Keep that for
Yes,
later on.
yeah, so we will have a spoiler review coming up shortly, so check that out and you can go ham in the comments with your spoilers there. But also hit that like button and the subscribe button if you want to see some more. But that's it for now. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Robbie.
I'm Jai.
And may the Force be with you.
Oh, damn it!